Hi, and welcome to the Virtually Yours podcast, Outsourcing Mysteries Exposed, the no BS hustle-free podcast for business owners who outsource or provide outsourcing services. I'm your host, Rosie, virtual assistant advocate and owner of Virtually Yours, the Virtual Assistant Network. Let's get started.
Edit as well.
Oh, look, am I going to edit it, people? Who knows? I've already started recording. And Anita already wants to know whether I'm going to be editing this. So we're in for some fun. Welcome, everyone, to the Virtually Yours podcast, Outsourcing Mysteries Exposed. I kind of feel like I need the whole expose after when I say that.
Echo.
Yeah. So I need to get that in. Anita runs the Holistic VA. Yes. And has been running a VA business. She had another business title name a while back. It's been a while now, though, hasn't it, since you were AKA Virtual PA?
Yeah, still there, though.
Yeah, still there. Cool.
Still getting inquiries, inquiries. That's good.
There you go, nice.
Yeah.
And Anita's been doing the whole VA thing longer than I have. Been around for a very, very long time, but you can't tell, she's like me. She looks like she's still in her 20s, so... Let's go with that. So Anita has worked with so many businesses. She has seen so many VAs come and go over the years. She is one of the key people that brings the VA conference in Australia together each and every year, and is involved in so many things around, bringing VAs together and supporting the industry as a whole. She's always there for that. And so I wanted to get Anita here today to answer a couple of questions that I get asked the most around outsourcing. And I've put it together as the 4 great fears of outsourcing. So, dun, dun, dun. Scary. So, hey, Anita, how are you going today?
Good, my dear. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic.
That's good. Happy birthday for the other day.
Thank you very much. I've finally hit the big old 40. I'm so excited.
Fabulous 40.
Yeah. Honestly, it's been the best 3 days of my life so far. So
I bet. We'll keep going too until your 42nd. Is that correct?
That's right. And then I'm going to have my big Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy party. So
yeah,
big fan of the number 42. All right, so let's get started. One of the things I talk about all the time is business undies. So with business undies, this is around the fear of letting VAs into your business because, your business undies or just the back end of your business, management can sometimes kind of feel like something that you should be hiding from everyone because it's not always lacy and gorgeous. Sometimes it's the granny undies going on. In fact, it's usually the granny undies going on. And so, there's a massive fear around letting VAs into the business because of that. So, Anita, what are your thoughts around that?
I'm sort of a bit like you. The old practice what you preach kind of thing is, it's... you got to do it yourself, I think, to be able to understand how it all works. It is scary, and it's just building up. I think it's just building up that trust with a VA, because what I see a lot is that people get disillusioned or they don't seem to find the right VA the first time, and if it doesn't work out, they think all VAs won't work out either. And it's so not true, because it's like any kind of process. You need to go through an interview process, talk to the client and all that kind of stuff and build that trust so that you do get the right person. So that's talking from a client perspective, I guess, is that, you see on the groups people asking for recommendations and people just throw out names left, right and centre, and it's great to get recommendations. But if you haven't spoken to that person, you don't know how they work. So they may not be a match for you.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, look, I think that's what VAs are for. VAs are there so that they can see your dirty undies, or business undies. Not dirty undies, sorry, your business undies.
You know what? I probably wouldn't get the PR I get if I referred to them as dirty undies. I'm sorry, business undies.
Exactly. I mean, that's what we're there for. We're to help clients to actually sort that stuff out.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think it's just a matter, I think, of educating our clients to not be scared, and we're there to help them.
Yeah, and I think what you were saying before, you know, with the whole practice what you preach, that gives you, as a virtual assistant, if you're outsourcing, that gives you insight into how it feels and what gives you comfort and reassurance should, you know, to bring someone into your business. What do they need to do for you to feel confident to, you know, to bring them into that inner sanctum? So then you can then apply that to your clients, because you've got the understanding around what it really feels like. I think people, before they outsource themselves as virtual assistants, they just go, just give me the work. What's the problem? Just give it to me. I can fix it. And there's no actual insight into the psychology behind, you know, the whole, we're setting up businesses to look a particular way. And then on the complete flip side, we're going to let somebody in who, you know, isn't, you know, we struggle with letting our friends see how messy our CRMs are, or our bookkeeping, or, you know, I remember the first time I sat down with the accountant, I was just like, oh God, and we knew him from high school. It's still my accountant, and I have no issues now. I'm like, Ben, just fix it. Do what you need to do. But I was just like, oh God, this is so, you know, this is so personal.
It is. It's very vulnerable.
Yes.
It's letting your vulnerabilities out and letting someone in. I actually find friends and family the hardest. I can let a stranger in, no problems.
Yeah, they can judge.
Yeah, that's it. You know, business buddies, fine. Yeah, it doesn't bother me either. But friends and family are the hardest. I find. I think probably because they don't run their own businesses, most of them, so they don't have that understanding.
Yeah.
But to outsource, definitely. I mean, you've got to do it yourself. I mean, even if it's just, you know, it's just like outsourcing to a cleaner or to, you know, someone that does odd jobs around the house. It's the same kind of thing. Like, you still, you know, they see the crap. You know, when a cleaner comes in, and you're always tidying up before the cleaner comes in. You know, you don't want them to see your house totally crap. But it's the same kind of thing with your business as well. You want to. People think that you need to tidy up, but you don't actually have to. I mean, that's
No, you don't. We've got different rules to cleaners. Cleaners may have a no lift policy, but we don't.
That's right.
Yeah, so the only thing that you need to be tidy on is your communication.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Communication's key.
You just made me think. I've got a really good friend who does cleaning and cooking, and I'll let her come in and cook. But I've really resisted letting her clean the shower or the bathroom or anything like that. I live in such an old house. They never look shiny and clean.
No, that's right.
That's not the only reason why they never look shiny and clean. So let's be honest. And I just, but I could get someone I don't know in.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's so much easier.
Yeah.
It is. It's interesting.
Yeah.
How people
so then if you've got, you know, if you go, okay, well, I've listened to Anita and Rosie, and I know that everyone feels this way, and I don't need to tidy up my business. You know, VAs, you know, as I say, they're the gynecologists of the business industry. They've seen it all. They want to fix it. How do I get started? You know, that's that big thing. What's the first step? And as you said before, you know, you can go onto Facebook groups and go, hey, I need a VA. And then suddenly you get 700 names pop up in front of you. To me, that's probably the worst way to get started, because you've just given yourself a whole new mountainous job to filter through.
Exactly. I mean, it's just like posting a job on Fiverr. You're going to get like 50 million people apply for it, and you don't know who they are, and they don't know, and you know, you don't know how to sift through all that. I think that the best way is to do your own research. Yeah. I mean, seriously, hop on Google, type in the keywords that you want or think you want.
Yeah.
You know, for the jobs that you need to get done, and talk to them.
Talk to them.
I think it's just as easy as actually talking to them.
Heaven forbid.
Yeah. Or also, oh, silly me, go to a network. We've got Viva, put in a job lead. Put in a job lead and be specific with what you want, or reasonably specific. And interview them. Set up a Zoom. Hello, like this. Chat and see what they're like, and see if there's if you resonate with them, you get on. If they know their stuff and all that. So people need to do their own research. It's good to get recommendations. It's fantastic to get recommendations. It feels really good to do that. But the fit may not be there. So
because it is a personality type. It's the same as saying I need a coach. My sister asked me the other day, do you know any life coaches you can recommend? And I couldn't give her an answer, because I said, well, who's it for? Is it for you or for someone else? And what element of coaching, is it someone I know? What's their personality like? Because they're all massive factors. And with a VA, that partnership, that trust is so, the communication and trust are the biggest things, in the relationship. And that can only come with a compatible personality. So you need to actually have a chat with them. And I like to do a combination of the written communication and the audio communication, or oral communication, because I want to see that I communicate well in both styles, and that they communicate the way that I like in both styles. And as you said, with networks like Virtually Yours, it will filter down, because you've got people on that network who you don't have the entire world pretty much pitching to you. You've got people who have invested in themselves to belong to this network, to keep educating and keep building their community. So they're already ticking a few boxes. And then they know from me, for example, not to be applying for jobs that they're not good at. So you usually get better caliber of responses, and then there's less to filter through. And then you can go through those steps that we would recommend, in terms of having some written communication, having a face-to-face, whether it's on Skype or Zoom or in a cafe if you're nearby, because that personal that conversation where you can actually see each other, that's the clincher, I reckon.
It is, absolutely. I mean, it's that old cliche, know, like and trust. People will do business that they know, like and trust. And it's funny that a lot of, especially I think with the new VAs, solely relying on social media and interactions online. It's like, you need more than that. I think we're going back to the old-fashioned, networking events. I've never stopped. I mean, that's where the bulk of my business comes from, is through face-to-face networking. I've got a few online, but you're competing with so many more people now online, and it's that personal touch that I think people are going back to now more so.
Yeah, I completely agree. If you've got face-to-face networking events that you go to, see if there are VAs there, because they're stepping up and stepping away from the computer to connect and to build their community, which is a big tick. And you can just see whether you click with them or not. So, I think it's really important for VAs in particular to not just promote online, as you just said, and also business owners to realise that there are other places they can go to find VAs. So those face-to-face, especially if you're that sort of personality where you want to have that really strong connection and to feel that you can catch up face-to-face, because everyone's different. Some people cannot handle the idea of just doing Zoom chats. They can't handle it. And if you know what you're like, then that's good. Exactly. Whereas others, we only live, 45 minutes or an hour away from each other. We could catch up for a coffee, and we do every now and then, but we don't need to rely on that.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
So once they've sourced a few, I usually recommend that they start with a couple of small tasks just to see how that goes, and to also remember in their head that this is the honeymoon period. So.
Yes.
So everyone's got their game plan, their game face on, and they're doing their absolute best. It's all downhill from there.
That's it, exactly. No, well, it can work either way. Sometimes, when you're onboarding a new client, you don't know what they're about, and you're still working through their systems and stuff. So it can be a little bit of a trying time as well. It could be roses, but it could also be a very trying and interesting time. Once you get into that rhythm, then it's fine. I'm actually going through that myself with this huge client that I've recently picked up a couple of weeks ago.
Congratulations.
And it's like, go. Like the last 2 weeks, I've been going absolutely crazy. But good crazy, but it's just sort of settling in because she's launching a launch, but she's got this big event in October, so we're prepping for that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then and that's when you sort of you get to know how you both work and all that, and that's fine. But so I've been thrown into the deep end of that. But then there are other clients where there's not so much that urgency, and starting off with a couple of tasks is a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Do a newsletter, do some social media posts, do some calls or whatever. Just little things just to sort of get to know each other, and having a weekly chat I find is important as well.
Yeah,
the check-in, checking in and keeping those communications open. I mean, some people like to chat, some people like to email, but I think still having a chat once a week or once a fortnight is very important.
Yeah, I find that, and I don't always remember to do it, but with my VA, when I do remember to have a weekly or fortnightly chat, like an actual chat, even if it just allows me to just give her just brain dump, where I'm at. I just like her to know where I'm at and where I'm going, even if there's no tasks in it for her. But often she'll go, oh, hey, actually, do you need blah, blah, or do you need this contact, or do you want me to do rah, rah, rah? And often it will turn into, it's obviously going to be better and easier for me. And that's why I wanted to be on the same page as me. And so that always feels more aligned when we do that.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a brain dump thing. Yeah, clients like to do that. That's like, things just pour out and you're busy there writing down. And that's right. There may not be a task, but, things will come to mind. And at least you know where they're at.
Yeah.
So it's
well, you don't know what to look for. This is why I say to business owners, you need to know what your goals are and communicate that with your VAs, because they don't know what opportunities to look for until you tell them.
Yes. Yeah. And we can come up with ideas that are outside the square or that they've never thought of. Or I mean, that's what mine keeps saying to me. If there's any, if you've got any suggestions, just let me know. And I go, yeah, no worries. I'm happy to provide any kind of feedback or suggestions, ideas, and all that kind of stuff. You shouldn't be scared to offer those ideas either.
Yeah,
I think a lot of VAs, especially when they're new, they're afraid to give suggestions, and there's no need to be. I mean, the worst they can say is no.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's not the end of the world kind of thing. So, if you show that you're keen and you've got ideas and all that kind of stuff, I mean, that's what clients want. And all they can say is yes or no.
Absolutely agree. That's part of the value of you is that you're a different brain and you've got a different perspective on everything based on your life. So just having, and that for me, when Mon does that, when she goes, oh, have you thought of, this, or you could try to do that, and I also often brain dump with my best friend because she's a business owner too. And that gets me so excited. As a business owner, I could talk about my business all day. And that gets me more excited, and then I'm more proactive and I start making notes and then I start doing stuff. And it's funny how just that connection and catching up regularly can keep you on track. It's so powerful.
Big motivator. Yeah, it's a big motivator. Exactly.
Massive.
If you sort of lost your mojo and you sort of think, oh, things are just not going the right way, having a chat to someone can do amazing things.
Yeah. Actually, that's a really good point too, because when you can, that can be like that evil cycle. You start to lose your mojo, so you don't have the meetings and you don't connect and you lose your mojo, and then you think, I don't need a VA, I don't know what they're doing for me anyway, and it goes down, down, down. And so that, which we wanted to touch on today too, so nice segue, is that communication. That communication is so, so important to help you stay excited and motivated and moving forward, because the second you stop communicating, and this is on both sides, there's two people here, then, you start to lose touch very quickly because it is virtual.
Yes.
And then, you lose, there's so much that you can lose. So, there's so much to gain from just putting effort into.
Absolutely, just keeping in touch. Whether it's an email or a text or just to let both of you, just to have that communication still. The calls, yes, the calls are important, but every now and again, like I've had this client, another example. She's been on the boiler, and I've been doing stuff. I haven't really started doing work with her, but I've got something that I do need to do for her.
Yeah.
But I kept in touch with her. And the funny thing is, we actually spoke yesterday, and she said, it's funny because we're both Virgos. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, though. But she'd say, oh, think about Anita, and then an email would pop into my inbox. And she'd go, everything's okay. And it's that, and it was just, we've got some kind of synchronicity going on here. But it's just, if you do go missing in action, just communicate with a quick email saying, yeah, I'm still here, I haven't gone anywhere, I'm onto it, just giving a progress, report of what you're doing, if nothing else, but still having those calls. Yeah. Is really important.
It's so important. And as business owners too, we can get really wrapped up in what we're doing. And you're both business owners. So it can be that you're both just getting wrapped up in your own stuff. And you just need that prompt to get back in. So I think having scheduled meetings and stuff like that sounds onerous, but it's actually not. It's actually a really smart strategy. But just to remember and put yourself in each other's shoes.
That's right.
That those little connections and touching base. I've got a project that I'm working on with someone at the moment, and neither of us have touched base about it for about 2 weeks. And now I'm going, what's going on with that?
Yeah.
So today I'll follow up on that. But I would have loved it if she had.
Yes.
But then she's a business owner too. So, realize that we've all got lots of stuff going on, and the benefit of having a VA as opposed to a staff member is that you get all these financial benefits and a lot less risk, but they are a business owner, so there's obviously going to be pros and cons. So
that's right.
Smart about that and being aware and also respectful of that is very, very important.
Yeah.
So the last thing I wanted to touch on today was around pricing. People are often freaking out about the price of a VA. And I get asked all the time, what's a ballpark figure for a VA? I got asked this morning, and I said, look, the pricing for Aussie VAs generally starts around about $35 per hour. I think if they've done their maths, minimum would be about $35 an hour. But it goes all the way up. It kind of there's never an end point. Yet I find it interesting that people want to know exactly what it's going to cost without telling me what this. It's like, how much is a hamburger? And I go, what do you want in it?
Exactly.
How do you want to eat it? And what do you want in it? And
I know. It's an interesting thing, isn't it? Because that's the first thing I say. Oh, what's the hourly rate?
Yeah.
It's like, we haven't even talked about anything else yet.
Yeah.
You don't even know what I do. So how do you know if it's going to provide you with value or not? I think that's... and it's probably something that the industry has started off with, from a lot of ages ago, is time for money. And it's always been like that. Yeah. And I think now that... we're progressing and being a bit more, I think, smarter in the way we work as well, is that we want to provide value.
Yes.
That's what we want to do. We want to provide a value. We want to provide an outcome rather than sitting there watching a clock.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than watching a clock.
Give you time. I'll give you time. Yeah,
That's it.
Value.
Yeah.
Outcomes. Yeah.
That's it, exactly. So, going towards the packaging up of things, and sometimes, it is hard to package up services.
But you can always give it, when you can't package it, it's because you've already discussed what they want to be getting from it, what sort of support they want from it. So you can, once you know what the goal is that they're trying to get towards, because at the end of the day, we've all got something we're trying to get towards, and how we could fit in with that and to help them get to each of those points, then we can say, okay, well, this is going to work better for you if it's hourly based because it's going to be so ad hoc. But let's not look at the clock. Let's look at what we're going to achieve each month. Within that time, how much more progress do you want, or how much more contact with your clients do you want each month, or whatever it might be. Rather than sitting back. The second we start worrying about hours, our brain just goes the wrong way.
I think so too. Yeah, absolutely. It's
bizarre, and you can still charge by the hour, but you've got to be talking about outcomes. So So I think when business owners start asking about costs, it's really more about, okay, what do you want to get out of the VA over what period of time, and what is that worth to you? Because when I say to you $35 per hour, actually, I've answered your question, but it means nothing.
That's right. It does mean nothing.
How many hours are you going to need?
Exactly. And it is hard when you're starting off with, or you've got new services and you don't know how long things are going to take, because you still do need to monitor your time. To a degree, you still need to know. You don't want to be working, 40 hours a week and getting paid $500. That's just crazy. So there needs to be some kind of rationale behind what you need to have done your packages. You've got to do maths, exactly. But at the end of the day, it's the value that you're providing. And if your client, even if your client's paying $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month, and you're doing what you need to do, and providing the outcome at the end of that month, that's gold. That's gold to them. It doesn't matter how much it costs them. If they're getting that stuff done, that's the important thing. And if you don't know how it's going to work out, trial it for a month or 2 or 3, whatever, and then work out the average. Okay, well, I've done this much. This is if you're sort of going the hourly rate kind of thing. You can still package it and say, okay, well, I've done approximately 10 hours a month, or 20 or whatever, costs this much. How about we just do that every month? And if it goes out of the scope, like if there is something, because it's always some kind of scope creep, and I had that last week, freaked out last week, that's going to be extra. So, there needs to be that flexibility, but definitely working on outcomes and the results that you want is the important thing, rather than going straight to the how much is your hourly rate, because it means nothing.
It does. It means absolutely nothing. And the more that you're paying, and at the end of the day, if I decided, are you getting feedback?
No, I'm okay.
Okay. I'll just turn that around. If you're paying more, obviously you're getting a bigger outcome, which is investing in your business. So you would expect that you'd be getting, building your business and getting more revenue coming in. And if you're not, then you're not doing it the right way. That's probably the only thing.
Well, that's right.
Do the maths around it and work out what you need to achieve to be getting the outcomes that you want. So the same as anything. I'm going to wrap it up today, because I like to keep them short and sweet, and I think there's been some really good value there for people who are thinking about getting a VA and so far haven't taken the leap. And Anita, I just want to thank you so much for your insights. I completely agree, and I love just having someone to have bounce those thoughts off, and having different perspectives on things really valuable.
It's been a pleasure to be with you this morning, or today, I should say.
What was that? Sorry,
I said this morning, but it depends on when people are listening to this. So we should say
you've got a 50-50 chance.
That's it.
That it's this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So let's assume it's this morning for everybody, and that they're going to have a fantastic day from here on in.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thanks,
Take care,
Rosie.
everyone.
See ya.
Bye. Hey, thank you for listening to the Virtually Yours podcast, Outsourcing Mysteries Exposed. Between now and our next session, I know you're going to be hanging out to take some action on outsourcing in your business. So head on over to virtuallyyours.com.au and you can download some information there about the best ways to outsource for business growth. If you're a virtual assistant, make sure you join us. We have an amazing virtual assistant community at Virtually Yours, Aussie VAs connecting and helping each other grow. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you at the next podcast.